Hey everyone, in this tutorial today I'm going to show you how to install and set up Sendy on your web hosting. Now what Sendy is an alternative to using MailChimp or Campaign Monitor to send regular emails to your clients. It's an email marketing tool. The beauty of it is it's actually installed on your own web hosting service. You don't pay any monthly fees for Sendy, you only pay for what you use with Amazon SES. So Sendy is basically a tool which is installed on your own server that uses Amazon SES to send emails for you. Amazon SES is really affordable, and right now I believe it's only 10 cents per 1,000 emails. So if you go onto the Sendy website, and you can check that at the link below, it will actually show you a calculator and it can give you an idea of how much you're actually saving. So for example, if you were to send say around 6,000 emails, MailChimp would roughly cost you 126, Campaign Monitor 68, and then Amazon SES only 60 cents. So that's an unbelievable saving. And Sendy would basically pay for itself after your first email campaign. If you look in the features here, Sendy has pretty much everything that you would like in an email marketing tool. It probably isn't as user-friendly as say your MailChimp or Campaign Monitor, but if you're going to save a lot of money, it's probably worth using. And Sendy is only a once-off fee of $59 US. So in this tutorial, I'm going to run you through downloading, installing, setting up Amazon SES to work with it, and then we're going to do a test send of an email. So let's get started. The first thing we obviously need to do is buy Sendy. So I'm going to buy Sendy now. Let's do this email address. And the web address, you have to make sure that you type in the exact web address you're going to install Sendy on. So in my case, it's going to be webdesign101.net. And we will buy with PayPal. That's going to take us to PayPal, obviously. I know you know how all this works, but I just want to run you through the whole process from start to finish. Now let's pay that. Now that we've paid it, we'll click here to go back to Sendy. And what will happen is we'll actually receive an email from Sendy, which will show us our download link, and it will also show us our license key. Now, once you've received that email, make sure that you click to download Sendy, and then you should have a sendy.zip on your computer. Now that Sendy has been purchased and you have the zip file, installation file on your computer, you can then go over to your web hosting. And in this tutorial, I'm going to be using cPanel, a cPanel hosted website. So I'm going to go log into my cPanel account. And just to make it cleaner, I'm going to create this on a subdomain, and that will just make life easier, just in case you already have a website on your actual domain name. Create a subdomain which will just be for Sendy. So to do that on cPanel, you just go to subdomains. I'm going to call it email.webdesign101.net, and I'm going to click on create. And now that's created, if we go to email.webdesign101.net, it'll take us to a page that says this, which is a bit bizarre because I've just created it, but it might be my hosting that's just taking a while to kick into action. So now that we have the subdomain, we need to go back to our file manager and upload the Sendy file. So you can see here the email.webdesign101.net, and we will just upload, and we'll just wait for that to upload. Now the upload is complete, we can go back to our folder and extract Sendy. And once it's extracted, you can delete the main zip file. And then what you want to do is just go into the Sendy folder, go to settings, and make sure that you're showing all hidden files so that when I copy, it copies the htaccess file as well. So just select all and then click on move, and then just move everything back into the parent folder. So now that's done, we will go to the website, which is email.webdesign101.net, and it's still not working, so there's something wrong with my hosting. I think it might be something browser related, so what I'm going to do is just close out of my Google Chrome completely and clear my cache, and then go back into Chrome and we will try email.webdesign101.net now. And you'll notice now that it works. I'll just get that out of the screen. So now that we have that come up, you'll notice that a message comes up saying can't connect to database. So let's connect back onto our cPanel account. And we need to create a database. So to create a database, you need to go to MySQL databases here. And we want to create a database called Sendy. So webdesign_Sendy. And we'll create a user called the same thing, so called webdesign_Sendy. Choose a password through the generator. It's just nice and secure. And I've created the user now. Now what we need to do is just make the user have access to that database. So do that, add it and set all privileges and click make changes. Now that we have our database set up, we go back to our file manager, go back to our folder, and go into includes and go into our config.php folder, file. Now let's set this up. So the URL of our system is going to be email.webdesign101.net. The host name is going to be localhost. Username is webdesign_Sendy. Password is in my clipboard, and then the database name is exactly the same. So we will paste that in there. And what we'll do now is refresh, and it should take you to a page that looks like this. Now this says mod rewrite is not enabled. That's fine. I think everything should still be okay in that instance. Now what we want to do is we want to put our license key in the form and then put in our business name and our name and our email that we want to use and our password, and then just the time zone. So this will probably be just so for stats and stuff like that. And then you need to put in your Amazon key ID and secret access key. In this case, we won't do that right now. We'll just install it first and then we'll do that after. So now that we've clicked on install, it will install and take us to the login page again, which then we can type in our username and password, which we set up just previously. And Sendy is now installed. So the main thing we need to do now is set up an Amazon SES account and make it work with this domain so that we can send emails through Sendy. Now let's do that. So the first thing we want to do is go to Amazon SES on Google and go to the SES page. And we will get started by clicking on this link. Wait for it to load. Let's create a new AWS account. Okay, so the account, if we're going to create a new one, we actually want to click on I am a new user, info webdesign101.net, and then we will sign in. And I'll just put my name, and I'll put my email address again, and I'll put a password in, and I'll create the account. Nice and easy. Okay, so because this is a company or a business account, I will put my full name, business name, country, PO box, and phone number. And I will type in this little captcha code here, accept the agreement, and continue. I'm going to put in my credit card details. And then continue. Now it's going to ask to provide a telephone number to verify my account. I don't know if it will do it with you, but it's doing it with me, unfortunately. And it's going to call my phone to clarify that I am me. So I've just got my phone in my hand right now, and I'm waiting for a call. So I've just received a call, which is like an automated call, and it asked me to type in that PIN number, which I have. And now that it's been completed, I can continue to the next step. I'm just going to do a basic support plan because I really don't need any support, and click on continue. And there we go, we're set up. We've got our AWS account and we can do what we need to do. So we'll launch the management console. And once the console launches, we need to then type in our email address and password once again. Then we want to do a search for SES, or Simple Email Service. So if we click on that, it asks us which region we'd like to use. And in my case, Oregon is the best region to send emails. It's closest to Australia, then North Virginia and Ireland. So I'll click on Oregon. And then we're in the SES dashboard. So the first thing we need to do is we need to actually go to domains, and we need to verify our domain. So our domain is webdesign101.net, and we should also tick generate dkim settings, which we can add into our hosting DNS settings, and click on verify this domain. Now once we click on that button, it will give us a few settings we need to use. Now firstly, let's grab this, go to our cPanel, and we want to go to our zone editor. So our zone editor is there. If we choose the domain that we're editing, we just go to manage, and we need to add, let's have a look, a text record. So add record, we want it to be a text record, and we want it to be, that's the address that we want it to be, and we want this to be the value. So add that record. And then what we want to do is we want to add these dkim records as well, which we can just download in a CSV file. Once you got it in the CSV file, you can just copy and paste. So as you can see here, it's a cname. So what we do is we go back to our editor, go create a cname. So that's going to be the first value, and then the second value will be copied from here. Add the record, do exactly the same with the others. Okay, now that the details have been added, if we go to our SES console and click on refresh, it should check that they exist, and then it should automatically say verified. So now our SES is verified to send emails through the domain name. Okay, then what we want to do is we want to actually set up access for for Sendy to use Amazon to send emails. To do that, we need to go to our services area and look for something called IAM. And this will come up, manage user access, and just click on that. And we then want to go to users and add a user, and we'll call the user Sendy. And then click on programmatic access and click on next. Then we need to just go to attach existing policies directly, go into search, type SESF and then select it, and then we also want to do SNSF and then select it as well. And then we want to go next and then create the user. Now once we've created the user, it will provide us with information, access ID and an access key. So let's copy the access ID and go into Sendy and go to settings here, paste the ID there, and also paste the secret key. There we go. Make sure that our region is the right one that was selected. So in my case, it was Oregon, and then we just save it. So now what Sendy is doing is actually checking if that account exists. And as you can see here now, its SES region is Oregon. It's working, but currently we're in sandbox mode. So you'll notice that you can only send 200 emails. Really, you want to send much more than that. So what you need to do is actually send an email to Amazon to ask them to lift the restriction of your email to make it much higher. Now to do that, what we want to do is we want to open up a new browser window and paste this URL. This URL I'll actually include in the description with this video. And it will take you to an Amazon page where you can actually create a case to ask Amazon to increase your limit. And I guess Amazon have these restrictions just to make sure that people aren't going to start sending spam out to people. So as you can see, it's SES sending limit. That's the type of case we're creating. We're going to make sure it's for the Oregon region, and we're going to set maximum daily sending quota of 50,000 emails. Okay, I believe that's 50,000, yep. And then we want to say that this is a subscription mail. The website URL is www.webdesign101.net. And your email does comply, and you'll only send email to people who are specifically requested to be subscribed to your email, and you do have a process to handle bounces and complaints. Now, the best way to go about writing this is tell Amazon exactly what they need to know so they can approve you. So the best thing to do would be to write a message something like this: Hi, I would like to apply to have my sending limit increased so I can send emails to my subscribers with monthly newsletters. I will be using a system called Sendy and will strictly be sending emails to only people who have subscribed through Sendy, through my newsletter system. If a user wants to unsubscribe, they can do so by clicking the unsubscribe link on the emails we send. Otherwise, if they send an email to us requesting to be removed, we will do so in a timely fashion. We will be using this system purely for newsletters to people who have authorized us to send them emails. I believe that this should be enough, so thank you, kind regards, Sean. And then the contact method, you could just put web and then hit submit. What that's going to do is send an email to Amazon. They're going to look at your case. If they do ask you more questions, just be honest. I mean, you're not going to be using this to spam people. So just be honest and basically tell them what they want to hear. They want to know that you're not going to be spamming people. They want to know that you are going to handle bounces, and if people not want to receive emails, you can remove them from your mailing list. So that's all good. So now that we've sent the case through, Amazon will be looking at that. They might only take a few hours. You'll notice that they've increased your limit when obviously they send you an email saying that they've increased it, or you'll also notice when you refresh Sendy, it will actually just say 50,000 emails here instead of 200. So that's probably the easiest way to know if it's working or not. But for this case, it's still working. We can still send 200 emails. So now that we've set everything up, let's go back to our main screen and create a brand. So I'm just going to call it Web Design 101. The from name will be from Web Design 101. So whenever an email gets sent out, it's going to be from Web Design 101, and the email address will be info@webdesign101.net, and click save. This section here is this section here is for clients. So let's say you have someone that you want to have access to this. You can restrict what they have access to, and you can set a username and a password for them and send it to them, and they can log in and start sending emails as well, which is pretty cool. So now that we've set up this brand, let me just double check that that's fully done. No, that's not done because this here, let's just change this to accounts. just didn't let us because there were duplicate emails. Okay, so now that's set up, our brand is here. You can obviously create new brands, but let's go into this brand and let's create a new campaign. So let's call it test campaign. Actually, we'll go back to our dashboard again and we'll go to our brands and we'll go to lists and we'll create a new list called subscribers. And we'll create a subscriber. So Sean, Sean at mrdigital.com.au, which is my email and my name and email. And now I'm a subscriber. Now let's go to campaigns, create a new campaign. We'll call it test. And we will then type in hi, and then we'll go down to personalization tags and copy this tag, paste it in there. Hi name. This is a test email to see if received it. Okay, thanks. Now this is a really basic email, and in some tutorials in future, I'm going to show you how to do it properly with HTML, and I'll show you some other features in future. But for just this test, this is what I'll show you. Now we'll do save and next. And we can send a test email to ourselves. Sendy's loading, it takes a while for it to sometimes load. It's probably connecting to Amazon to make sure that it can send, but as you can see, it's loaded now. You can send a test to yourself, but I'm going to send it to this list, and I'm going to send a newsletter now. But before I send it, you'll actually notice that it says Amazon is in sandbox mode, and that's fine. We've already requested for the restriction to be lifted, but also underneath it says something about setting up a cron. So we need to set up a cron job so that the emails can send properly. So let's click on set up cron now, and there is this that we need to do. So let's go back into cPanel and go to our file manager. Let's go to cron jobs, so cron jobs, which is under advanced, and we want to create a new cron job and copy this. So let's just copy this and paste it there, but then we want to remove this, because this basically just means once every 5 minutes. And then go up here to common settings and choose once per 5 minutes. And then just click on add new cron job. Now that's done, we just need to wait 5 minutes for the cron job to run, and then Sendy will then remove this message here, and then it will be all good to start sending emails. Okay, I've gone ahead and refreshed the screen now, and you'll notice that the message is gone. So what we want to do now is we want to select subscribers, and we're only going to be sending one email, but that's fine. And then click send newsletter now and click OK. So you'll notice that Sendy is saying preparing. You don't need to worry about this. You could probably just close out of this and come back later, because this will all be done on the actual server. So it's not relying on you having it open. But because it's only sending to one person, it shouldn't take long at all. Once it prepares and starts sending, it sends depending on your limits that you've set. So what you can do is you can go into settings, and you can change your settings. Once Amazon have approved your limit of 50,000, you can actually change your send rate to 14 a second, I believe. So you can change these settings once Amazon has approved it. So at this stage, you'll notice that not much is happening. You might be like, what the hell's going on? This is all normal when you first start using Sendy. We'll just wait for it to send. Now you'll see that Sendy has completed the send, and if you click on the report, you'll notice that it will give you an indication of how many emails it's sent and how many people have opened it, etc. And I've just checked my email, and I have received the email with the message. So that's it. What I would suggest though is waiting for Amazon to approve your 50,000 a day send limit, and then go crazy. So that completes the tutorial with Sendy. This is the first tutorial, but I will be showing you how to use other features of Sendy shortly. I hope this has helped you, and thank you very much, and have a lovely day or evening. Cheers.